Well, good evening. How are you all tonight? You all doing good? Well, after the district contest, the county farm bureau agent called me the next morning to congratulate me. Well, in this phone call, he told me, he said, the pressure is off of you now. There's no stress at the state level. You ain't competing against nobody. I'm sure glad I ain't competing against nobody or I'd be whooped. There's some real good talent here tonight. Evidently, he has not spoken in front of this many people and tried to be funny before either. I went to school this morning and I sat right beside his grandson, and his grandson, I told him what he said, and he said if he got up there in front of that many people, he'd just get up on stage and do this number. He wouldn't know what to say. Well, tonight I'm going to talk to you all about the advantages and disadvantages of being a farmer's son. I'm going to first start off with an advantage. I got the advantage of being a mind reader. You may ask, a mind reader out of farming? Yes, you ever know them farm signals that are like the most unlogical and unreasonable signals there is? Like, who in the world? Well, you're up there in the cab, you're just like, and that's why I became a mind reader. And you got to become a mind reader to avoid the yelling that will happen if you don't know what they're talking about. Which leads into my next advantage. I've got real good at talking loud because of how much yelling goes down on the farm. I'd say the neighbors here sometimes were so loud because I didn't know how to mind read right that time. Well, there's a disadvantage of being a farmer's son. Every place you go, you feel guilty about going. You know why? It's because he's like, work, 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 work. Never any time to quit. Well, I had to go to this conference for FFA the other week or two ago. Well, my teacher said, does he have to go? My dad said, does he have to go to this conference? And the teacher said, you do know what FFA stands for, right? And he said, Future Farmers of America. This is when my ag teacher turned to him and he said, no, you got that wrong. It stands for Father Farms Alone. That is the honest truth, because it was right at the start of harvest, too, when I had to go to this conference. Well, another disadvantage to farmer life is you never have time for a dating life. But I do have a girlfriend. Her name is Miss Shivers. Miss Shivers is our grain bin dryer. I call her my girlfriend because she sends me these text messages. And I get more text messages from her than any other girl on my phone. Well, now I'm going to go into another advantage. I forgot this one. I'm in good physical condition. It's because I got to put out the mineral, got to shovel the grain bins, climb the grain bins. You might ask, why in the world does he have to do this? Well, my dad got a belly about like this. And he don't much want to do it. He eats too many cookies to do all this physical activity work. He is a cookie monster. Wildest man I ever seen with cookies. And then, since he's too slow and lazy and all that stuff, yeah, I called him lazy because he eats too many cookies. Well, my grandpa, he's too old and slow to do it like I am, so that's why I'm in good physical condition, because I'm out there doing all the physical activity all the time. Well, ever since I got into this comedy stuff, and people know I'm doing comedy now, they've all been telling me their funniest jokes and wondered when I'm going to perform for them. Well, Sunday morning I walked into church and the pastor was right there. And he says, I sure hope you're a cleaner comedian now than you used to be. This was after he asked if I wanted to do some stand-up comedy in front of the church. Well, let me tell you the story of why he thought I was a dirty comedian. When I was in the 3rd grade, he was my handbells teacher, and I played the F and G handbells. Well, my dad asked how I was doing with the handbells, and I said, I'm struggling with that F and G right now. Me being so little and so unaware of what I just said, that's why the preacher thought I was a dirty comedian. I try to be clean as I can. Well, thank you all for laughing. I didn't have to resort to my not if funny jokes. I'd like to thank my family, Kentucky Farm Bureau, and our local Farm Bureau for giving me the opportunity to stand up here tonight, and most of all, God. Thank you all.